Hello to Sunday's live stream, and hello Michael. I missed you on Friday, my friend. I missed you. But nice that you joined today. Okay, that is treat is out. Then I didn't then do it on Friday. We could hop into some videos, if you don't mind. You have prepared 3. All right, great. And I've watched the first hour and 15 minutes of the live stream from Kai Rosenkranz. But there was not really much to translate, right? It's completely on English. But nice insights on some things there. I found the information from Mike Hoge very interesting. Okay, first one. All right, I'm gonna search for it. Let's put that one here. I agree, obviously. Okay, from Psymac. Alright, I'm actually gonna save them up, the URLs, in order to put them into the description afterwards. Okay, then we're just gonna hop into it with no further ado. And obviously, huge shout out to Psymac for the video. Give permission to create this video, which is using files from 99. The files are not available at the moment, and only people that have them are those that made exceptional efforts to get to disk with the demo versions. It cost us €2,000, oh my goodness, in total to get them. Upon finding out, Nordic forbid us from further sharing of the files, which are protected by copyright law. Okay.
Witamy serdecznie szanownych widzów. W tym materiale chcemy przedstawić Wam solucję do gry Gothic, znajdującej się w jednej z przedpremierowych wersji. Mamy tu na myśli wersję 0.64b, do której posiadamy dostęp wraz z oryginalnymi plikami, które nabyliśmy w sierpniu 2020 roku. Warto tu wspomnieć, że wersja ta pochodzi z lipca 1999 roku, czyli na niecałe 2 lata przed premierą Gothica 1. W plikach prealfy możemy natknąć się na solucję, która miała służyć zapoznaniu gracza z panującymi w grze zasadami oraz różnymi mechanikami. Chcemy jeszcze wspomnieć, że wersja ta posiada dubbing w wersji angielskiej.
Leave this place. Leave this place, or I will call for the Templars.
Demo miało służyć na różnych pokazach przez Piranię, aby zwiększyć zainteresowanie grą. Dlatego dialogi czytane głosowo przez NPC były czymś rzadko spotykanym. Większość gier...
That was I didn't even think about that before. Something Mike Hoge said in this live stream with Kai Rosenkranz, that they said they want to have everything dubbed and no text, which was something very, very rare back in the days. Cool that they actually did it.
RPG tamtych czasów posiadała dialogi, które gracz musiał sam czytać, ale dość już o tym. Tak więc zapraszamy Was do obejrzenia materiału. Gothic 064b Prealpha Solucja. Witamy na pierwszej wycieczce z przewodnikiem po złożonym świecie Gothica. W tym demie przygotowaliśmy specjalny scenariusz, aby pokazać wam wiele cech, środowisk, stworzeń, niezależnych postaci.
I'm sorry, I gotta need to go back to the beginning. They got the 2 discs with the demo version, so the files not intend to some documents, but the real deal. Okay.
Postaci nie będących graczami oraz specjalne umiejętności 4 głównych klas postaci w Gothic. Zwróć uwagę na występujące różnice pomiędzy tym demo a wersją finalną. W ostatecznej wersji Gothic będziesz miał wybór, aby stać się jedną z 4 różnych klas postaci. Wojownik, zrób to w prosty i brutalny sposób. Złodziej, wybierz podstępną i złośliwą drogę. Mag, bądź władcą magicznej mocy. Psionik, zmuś innych do działania zgodnie z twoją siłą woli. Każda z wymienionych klas używa innych umiejętności oraz zaklęć, aby poradzić sobie z problemami, jakie czyhają na gracza w grze. Gdy zdecydujesz się na wybór klasy postaci, będziesz zmuszony grać nią do końca swojej rozgrywki. Jeśli chcesz wybrać inną klasę, będziesz musiał uruchomić nową grę. Ale w wersji demo chcieliśmy pokazać różne umiejętności wszystkich klas w nieco uproszczony sposób. Dlatego też dajemy wam skrypt, dzięki któremu będziecie mogli przełączać się pomiędzy wszystkimi klasami, aby poznać ich różne umiejętności. Oczywiście ten kod skryptowy nie będzie dostępny w finalnej wersji gry, ale wystarczy już tych słów. Teraz uruchomimy nową grę. Zaczynasz przed kamiennym mostem wznoszącym się nad małą, płynącą rzeką. Świetnie. Naciśnij klawisz strzałki w górę, aby postać gracza będąca wojownikiem ruszyła w stronę mostu. Teraz naciśnij strzałkę w lewo lub w prawo, aby obrócić postać gracza. Zaskoczony? Chyba nie. Aby twoja postać mogła skakać, przytrzymaj Alt i naciśnij górną strzałkę. Dobrze, przyjrzyjmy się teraz terenowi. Przytrzymaj 0 na klawiaturze numerycznej i użyj klawiszy kursora, aby spojrzeć na krajobraz. Pamiętaj, że zasięg widzenia wynosi około 800 metrów. Teraz idź swoją postacią w kierunku mostu. Po prawej stronie znajdziesz miecz, który jest oparty o słupek. Podejdź tam, przytrzymaj Alt i wciśnij strzałkę w górę, aby się na to wspiąć. W ten sposób możesz omijać różne przeszkody. Spodobała ci się ta broń? W porządku. Skieruj się w stronę miecza opartego o słup, aż na górze ekranu pojawi się słowo szeroki miecz. Jest to pewnego rodzaju skupienie bohatera, które pokazuje, do jakiego przedmiotu, obiektu lub postaci odnosisz się, wykonując jakąkolwiek czynność. Mechanizm automatycznego namierzania stara się w trakcie gry złapać najbardziej sensowny cel. Może to być zarówno przedmiot, jak i postać. Podnieś teraz miecz, wciskając Ctrl plus strzałka w górę. Czy broń zniknęła? Spróbuj teraz nacisnąć klawisz Tab. To otworzy inwentarz gracza. Zmień kategorię za pomocą strzałki w lewo lub w prawo. Przesuń niebieską flarę wyboru. Teraz wyposaż gracza w broń. Wyposażone przedmioty są oznaczone czerwoną flarą wyboru. Wciśnij ponownie Tab, aby zamknąć ekwipunek. Przebiegnijmy teraz przez most. Brakuje tu kilku desek, ale ty jesteś prawdziwym bohaterem, a herosi nie boją się zmoknąć, więc po prostu biegnij dalej i nie patrz w dół. No i chlap, wpadłeś do wody. Teraz twoja postać nurkuje. Poruszaj swoją postacią wciskając Alt, jednocześnie używając klawiszy kursora do zmiany kierunku.
Although I have to say, I know this is just a demo version, but swimming in Gothic was hideous.
Jeśli wypłyniesz z powrotem na powierzchnię, postaraj się wrócić do brzegu, z którego wystartowałeś. Teraz postaramy się przejść przez most jak prawdziwi mężczyźni. Prawdziwy mężczyzna nie znosi moknąć. Podejdź więc do szczeliny z wciśniętym shiftem. To sprawia, że postać automatycznie unika spadania z gzymsów. Wciśnij Alt i górną strzałkę, a twój bohater będzie mógł przeskoczyć przeszkodę. Można również nacisnąć Alt podczas biegu. Dobrze, wystarczy tych nudnych ćwiczeń. Przejdźmy dalej i spróbujmy zasmakować nieco akcji.
Let's see the action.
Droga miecza. Po przejściu przez most zbliżysz się do skrzyżowania przy drzewie kata. Biegnij przed siebie w kierunku małego zielonego potworka, stojącego na środku drogi. Jest to goblin. I dla twojego bezpieczeństwa zadbaliśmy o to, aby była to nieruchoma kaczka. Teraz wyciągnij swoje ostrze. Zapytasz pewnie, jakie ostrze? To wielkie, paskudne, metalowe coś na lewym biodrze, rzecz jasna. Aby to wyciągnąć, wciśnij spację. Przygotuj zamachnięcie miecza za pomocą klawisza Ctrl i naciśnij strzałkę w górę, lewo lub w prawo, dzięki czemu postać wykona animację ataku w zależności od kierunku, który wybrałeś. Goblin nie był żadnym dla ciebie wyzwaniem. Stracił swój...
Gonna be explained, right? I wonder what the sword icon down here means. The damage?
Wykona animację ataku w zależności od kierunku, który wybrałeś. Goblin nie był żadnym dla ciebie wyzwaniem. Stracił swój kij, który możesz nawet podnieść. Oczywiście ta laga nie jest tak dobra jak twój miecz. Zauważ, że przed podniesieniem przedmiotów musisz schować broń. Czy próbowałeś zrobić krok do tyłu, przytrzymując broń? Nie? Spróbuj, naciskając Ctrl i strzałki w dół. Z bronią w ręku możesz wykonać prawie każdą czynność. Ale bądź ostrożny, większość ludzi nie będzie tolerować tego, że spacerujesz po ich terenie z wyciągniętą bronią. Spróbuj więc spokojnie schować swój miecz. Podążaj ścieżką w kierunku dużego obozu z gigantyczną, kolczastą wieżą sięgającą chmur. Teraz sprawdźmy, czy poradzisz sobie z prawdziwym przeciwnikiem. Ruszaj i przygotuj się na spotkanie ze ścierwojadem. Ale bądź ostrożny, bo dziobie. Na wypadek, gdybyś był nieprzygotowany, spróbuj użyć klawisza Delete. To szybko wskrzesi twoją postać w miejscu, gdzie zginęła. Ten cheat nie będzie dostępny w wersji finalnej, ale nie martw się. Ścierwojad nie posiada opcji Delete i nie wskrzesi się, gdy go zabijesz. Życie w obozie.
Here we can already see how it then actually looked in the final game. That's so interesting.
Idź dalej ścieżką w kierunku obozu.
You compare it.
Przy wejściu stoi dwóch paskudnych facetów, Borik i Bloodwin.
Get lost.
Zawsze mają zły humor, więc nie przebywaj zbyt długo w ich pobliżu, ponieważ może się to źle skończyć.
Get lost. If you don't disappear quick style, you'll be in trouble.
Get lost. If you don't disappear real fast, you'll be in trouble. Stop him! You're gonna have it now.
Aha, jeszcze jedno. Bardzo bym prosił, bądź tak uprzejmy i nie gap się na Bloodwina, załatwiającego swoje potrzeby. Nawet tacy bandyci jak on potrzebują trochę prywatności. Przejdź obok strażników i wejdź do obozu. Wszyscy skazańcy nazywają go Starym Obozem, tylko dlatego, że był pierwszym obozem. Zwróć uwagę na posąg stojący na środku głównego placu. Jest on czczony przez Fortuno.
That was in the in Gothic 2, right? In the real game, the statue. Not at this point, but I think I remember the model.
Nie trać czasu na rozmowy z nim, ponieważ nie będzie chciał z tobą rozmawiać. Wszystko, co nie zagraża jego życiu, nie będzie dla niego ważne. Rozejrzyj się nieco po terenie. Tutejsi faceci naprawiają swoje chaty, gotują bądź grają na lutni. Porozmawiaj z nimi, a opowiedzą ci, co robią.
Nice tune. It's the only one I can play. How are things? If you want to stay here, shut up and sit down. What are you going to have? The same as always, meat bug soup. How are things? Don't talk my head in, the slop will burn. Nice hut. I've built it myself, as nearly everybody else here. How are things? I need to carry on, it'll soon be raining.
Wewnętrzna brama. Spójrz na dużą kratę oddzielającą wnętrze obozu od nieuprzywilejowanych szumowin z zewnątrz. Naprawdę chciałbyś wejść do środka? Ale jak to zrobić? Podejdź do krat. Spójrz przez bramę. Czy widzisz faceta ubranego w zielone łachmany i wyposażonego w kokardę po drugiej stronie? To jest postać gracza klasy złodziej. Naciśnij 2, aby przejść do tej postaci. Poszukaj kołowrota obok bramy, który otworzy kratę. A teraz możesz zgadnąć, co będziesz musiał zrobić. Udaj się do tego kołowrotu, abyś mógł otworzyć bramę. Jeśli chcesz zamienić się z powrotem w wojownika, naciśnij 1. Możesz teraz wejść tą postacią do wewnętrznego obszaru. Takie sytuacje często występują w misjach poświęconych wielu graczom. Nawet członkowie drużyny, którzy nie są...
Multiplayer... Then they'd actually pretty damn much planned back in the day.
Takie sytuacje często występują w misjach poświęconych wielu graczom. Nawet członkowie drużyny, którzy nie są graczami, a jedynie sztuczną inteligencją, są w stanie wykonywać proste zadania, takie jak ta, aby pomóc graczowi osiągnąć zamierzony cel. Droga zwinności. Jeśli przełączyłeś się z powrotem na postać wojownika, wróć do klasy złodzieja. Uważaj na szubienicę. Mam nadzieję, że strażnicy nie powieszą cię na niej. Po lewej stronie znajduje się duży budynek. Wejdź tam i zwróć uwagę na drewnianą skrzynię po lewej. Zgaduję, że chcesz się do niej dostać, prawda? Dobra, stań przed skrzynią i spróbuj ją otworzyć. Cholera, skrzynia jest zamknięta, a ty nie masz klucza. Spójrz w prawo. Tam jest strażnik Angar. On będzie miał klucz. Na szczęście stoi tyłem do ciebie, więc cię nie zauważy, ale uważaj. Jeśli podejdziesz zbyt blisko, z pewnością cię usłyszy. Ponieważ twoja postać jest złodziejem, może się oczywiście skradać. Przytrzymaj klawisz Shift i przybliż się do Angara. Jeśli staniesz tuż za nim, wciśnij Ctrl plus strzałka w prawo, aby zajrzeć do ekwipunku Angara. Możesz tam wybierać przedmioty w taki sam sposób, jak we własnym ekwipunku. Teraz przenieś przedmioty do swojego własnego ekwipunku. Gratulacje, zdobyłeś klucz. Teraz wróć do skrzyni. Ponownie stań przed skrzynią i spróbuj ją otworzyć. Zabierz miksturę ze skrzyni i bądź szczęśliwy. Ostrzeżenie, nie pij tej żółtej mikstury, to jest szalony byk. W porządku, i tak nie spodziewałem się, że będziesz mnie słuchał. Teraz twoja postać wpadnie w szał. To ten sam efekt, który wywołuje magiczna bariera i jedno z zaklęć psionicznych. Miejmy nadzieję, że ten efekt szybko minie.
May I say, the speaker has a very, very comfortable voice. Very deep.
Droga magii. Wróciłeś już do siebie? Dobra, chodźmy do lochów. Przejdź obok Angara, aż staniesz przed kratą prowadzącą na zewnątrz. Teraz skręć w prawo i idź korytarzem w dół do piwnicy. Spotkasz tam postać klasy maga. Przełącz się na tę postać, wciskając 3. Zmiana kategorii broni odbywa się poprzez przytrzymanie spacji i naciśnięcie kursora strzałki góra-dół. Przełącza się w ten sposób pomiędzy wyposażoną bronią do walki wręcz, bronią dystansową i zaklęciami. W tej chwili twój mag jest uzbrojony tylko w gołe pięści i magię. Na dole jest dość ciemno, więc spróbujmy rzucić czar. Puść spację, aby przygotować zaklęcie światła. To jak przygotowywanie broni. Zwróć uwagę na magiczny efekt wokół prawej ręki. Wciśnij Ctrl, niechaj stanie się światłość i stała się światłość. Teraz się rozejrzyj. Na ścianie powinien znajdować się przełącznik przypominający dźwignię. Stań twarzą do przełącznika i naduś na niego. Usłyszysz jakieś dudnienie. Teraz wszystkie drzwi do celi są otwarte.
That's a nice looking zombie, may I say that?
Nadszedł czas, aby pokazać skazańcom, jak potężnym czarodziejem jesteś. Ale samo noszenie tego zgrabnego efektu świetlnego nad głową nie uczyni z ciebie potężnego czarodzieja. Za to zaklęcie ognista kula już to zrobi. Wybierz zaklęcie ognistej kuli. Twoja prawa pięść jest teraz pochłaniana przez małą kulę ognia. Wejdź na korytarz i zajrzyj do pierwszej celi po lewej. Tam są zombie. Czyż zombie nie są szczególnie podatne na ogień? Skup się jednak na nieumarłym potworze. Przytrzymaj klawisz Ctrl i obserwuj kulę ognia rosnącą między twoimi dłońmi. Zauważ, że twoja mana, czyli te niebieskie symbole na dole ekranu, maleją. Jeśli stwierdzisz, że kula jest już wystarczająco duża, puść klawisz, aby postać rzuciła nią w kierunku zombie. Odwiedź pozostałe cele i spopiel wszystkie nieumarłe abominacje. Skończyła ci się mana? To żaden problem. Otwórz swój ekwipunek i wypij jedną z tych niebieskich mikstur. To powinno wystarczyć. Jeśli twój mag oberwał zbyt mocno od zombie, możesz wypić czerwoną miksturę, aby odzyskać utracone zdrowie. Albo możesz się uleczyć za pomocą czaru leczenie. Siła umysłu. Dość już śmierdzących piwnic wypełnionych nieumarłymi pokrakami.
This one is very, very interesting. It's... God, my memories. Wasn't there a in Elex a Psychic class or Psionic class? Let me actually check that. Psi, not Psionic, Psi. Okay, there you can see that some things followed them along, so to say.
Ciśnij 4, aby wejść do grywalnej, psionicznej postaci. Przede wszystkim bądź ostrożny i uważaj na kroki, ponieważ możesz spaść z murów. Pamiętaj o przydatnym klawiszu.
There were clerics. Wasn't there a psionic or something? Okay, then I'm messing up. A cleric, okay. But there's a psi thrower. Okay, I'm messing up. I'm sorry, I'm messing up. Then I'm wrong. Sorry.
Shift. Przejdź przez drzwi, a dostrzeżesz 2 bandytów stojących zdecydowanie zbyt blisko krawędzi. Przygotuj psioniczne zaklęcie wiatru uderzenia. Mały huragan utworzy się wokół twojej prawej pięści. Stań twarzą w twarz z jednym z nich i przytrzymaj kontrol, aby wytężyć moc potęgi swojego umysłu. Puść klawisz i patrz, jak wpadają w otchłań śmierci. Podejdź ostrożnie do krawędzi i spójrz w dół na swoje ofiary. Z ruin wieży prowadzą jeszcze jedne drzwi. Zanim przez nie przejdziesz, przygotuj zaklęcie Kontrola Człowieka. Skup się na facecie o imieniu Wąż, stojącym na ruinach muru. Przytrzymaj klawisz i obserwuj, jak energia psioniczna atakuje jego umysł. Oczywiście nie może on wytrzymać psionicznej mocy maga takiego jak ty, więc kontrola nad jego ciałem jest natychmiastowa. Kamera powinna teraz zawisnąć za twoją nieszczęsną ofiarą. Po co kupować miecz, skoro przeciwnicy są gotowi dać ci wszystko, co zechcesz? Otwórz jego ekwipunek, wybierz miecz i każ mu upuścić go na ziemię. Oczywiście jego wino też powinno przy okazji wylecieć z jego ekwipunku. Teraz kontrolowane przez ciebie ciało może stać się zagrożeniem dla innych skazańców. Jednak możesz być na tyle mądry i zaskoczyć nim z zamku. Wow! Powrócisz do swojej głównej postaci, a twoi wrogowie przestaną istnieć. Teraz nadszedł czas na imprezę. Podejdź do upuszczonych przedmiotów węża i podnieś je. Otwórz swój ekwipunek i wybierz butelkę wina. Na zdrowie.
Hi.
I'm observing you all.
How are things?
You have my permission to leave.
Epilog. Gratulacje. Opanowałeś 4 podstawowe klasy w Gotiku. Jeśli nadal nie masz dość, oto kilka wskazówek, jeśli chcesz podróżować po świecie Gothic. Świat w Gothic nie jest obecnie zbyt gęsto zaludniony, ale możesz wędrować do dowolnie wybranej lokacji. Jedna prośba, nie wystawiaj mi rachunku za zniszczone buty. Drogi mogą stać się długie i monotonne. Aby skrócić swoje podróże, spróbuj użyć klawiszy od 5 do 9. Przenoszą one twoją aktywną postać gracza do ciekawych lokacji. Bądź jednak świadomym graczem i przygotuj swoją broń i zaklęcia. Nigdy nie chodź sam do lasu. Śmiercionośne cieniostwory szybko zakończą wędrówkę każdego niefrasobliwego poszukiwacza przygód. I nigdy nie zapomnij o ręczniku. Powodzenia i miłej zabawy. Postscriptum. Proszę zwróć uwagę, że grasz w wersję pre-alpha Gothic. Oznacza to, że wciąż wymaga ona dopracowania pod względem wydajności. Jest wiele błędów, które musimy naprawić, a rozgrywka nie jest jeszcze ukończona. Do zobaczenia na premierze. Czytał Marek Walczak.
This was created as a tribute to the 20th anniversary of Gothic. First of all, a huge shout out to Psymac. I think the video was very, very nicely done. And I really enjoyed the voice of the speaker. I'm surprised how much different, and I'm not talking about technical things, how different the pre-alpha was. If I'm thinking about the different classes of the Thief and the Psyker, it seemed a little different, right? But I do like it. Imagine what would have been if that would have been Gothic. Okay, the second one. I'm gonna put in a second. What do you think, Michael? Just give me the second. What do you think about the alpha version? Do you think Gothic would have been different if you, for example, would have the other two classes? Wouldn't the story then needed to be a little bit different? I personally like Gothic how it is. Me too. But it would have been interesting. And that I paid 2,000 euros. That's a large sum of money, but it's nice to see to have seen the alpha version in the end. Okay, this is the one you're talking about, right? Then we are gonna hop into it. And sorry for pronouncing the name wrong. Huge shout out to Fletcher for the video.
One idea. The idea that was born in the head of two students is like a strange feeling. A feeling that is scary and inspiring. Dreams, ideas, ambitions. It all started with the release of the legendary Ultima Underworld, a game that gave birth to many other legendary projects, including Gothic. Today this game is 20 years old, and the time has come to tell you how the history of this revolution began. 1992 year. Ultima Underworld released. The world's first immersive sim RPG with real 3D graphics. Around this time, the story of that very idea begins. When you mention the creators of Gothic, you are probably imagining Mike Hogue, Kai Rosenkrantz, Tom Putski and Stefan Newell. In fact, you should know that the idea for Gothic started with two students who stumbled upon Ultima Underworld in the early 90s and decided to create their own dark RPG. With dungeons, and in the first person.
Sadly enough, I've never played one Ultima game. Maybe that's something I'm gonna do at one point.
The main idea was an extremely inhospitable and dark atmosphere, and the game had to be quite simple. Without complex role systems, the two students were named Dieter Hildebrandt and Ulf Vollers. Later, in 1995, they already created their own team, which they called Mad Scientists, as well as the first demo of their game, which they then called Finster. I think this story is worthy of a separate video, which I will definitely release. In August 1996, following Finster's approval by Greenwood Entertainment, it was decided to contract the mad scientists for a new game, temporarily named Orpheus. Later, Ralph Marchinzik, Bjorn Pankratz and others will join the project. The first design document, created in 1996, was a list of pretty ambitious ideas. Many of them were only partially implemented, and some were not implemented at all. I will also have a separate video about design documents. During this time, Gothic has already passed 2 stages. The first is Orpheus, and the second is Phoenix. These names were used at various times as a temporary name for an as yet unnamed project. However, the idea to call the game Gothic came pretty soon. Already in 1997, the first prototypes of some locations appeared. Ancient Temple, Orc Caves and Psy Camp. From this point on, the pre-alpha development stage begins. The longest stage of all. In 1998, the first and second demo versions were created. These demos should be covered in a separate video. 1999 year. According to the Young Studio, more than half of their game has already been created. The third demo version is released, 3 more versions of the game were created separately. A certain test version, from which only one screenshot remains, Demo 4 and Demo 5. It is about these versions that we will talk about today. At the end of April 2020, information from a German was published on a Facebook page, who asked to remain anonymous. In this post there were photographs of the collection, which included all the collectible editions of Gothic, Risen, and even a Nord statue that stood in the Piranha Bytes office. However, the most valuable thing that was there was 2 discs with alpha versions of Gothic. These are versions 0.
Okay, these are the discs they acquired then.
0.56C and 0.64B. These are Demo 3 and Demo 5 respectively. Phantom 95 and another German noticed this. After some communication, there was an agreement to sell these discs to the Alpha researchers team for €1,000 each. Then several people participated in the agreement. Phantom 95 and Simic. There were also several observers, most of whom belonged to the Alpha researchers and Nemesis group. Another German named Benjamin helped with this. Troyan contributed the required amount, and upon receipt the discs were resold to another collector for €2,500, with the full consent of all parties to the exchange. Subsequently, the main curators of information in the community learned about the alpha versions. This was a brief history of getting alpha versions. And yes, they really are. And there are many more of them than you think. But well, let's move on to an overview of these alpha versions. And we'll start with Demo 3. This is version 0.56C. There are no splash screens or interface at the beginning. The game begins immediately with the fall of the character from the sky. Note that it was in this version that the legendary 1999 Gothic trailer was filmed. Having started the game, we immediately see that despite the generally the same control, it feels very different. We come to the shadow by the tree. After a dialogue with him, we immediately see an interesting system of dialogues. Instead of lines of dialogue, which the nameless one can say, we see a hand that shows a thumb down and a thumb up. Initially, Gothic planned a simple system of dialogues in which the main character can agree or object to the interlocutor. You can see the full walkthrough of this demo version in additional materials, the link to which is in the tips and in the description. In this version, a new Psy camp was cut out due to the fact that this is just a demo version, which did not imply showing the locations that were not yet completed. There are old versions of worlds in the game files. Most of them, of course, do not have textures. These worlds contain old versions of the locations we know. For example, a new camp that repeats Ralph's concept art. Or Psy camp, where the same thing happens. The old camp is also full of changes, for example, the trading area and approaches to it, a place near the arena itself and the House of the Barons. Of course, it will be difficult to list all the changes. This version also contains old prototypes of monsters. We saw some in screenshots and renders, and some came as a surprise. There is one of the first prototypes of orcs here. This model repeats it in another screenshot. However, the orc has a texture here. The skeleton and zombies have a rather comical texture, which however is temporary.
The zombie from the first video was version 064, right? So it was later version. Much more appreciated that it's not that comic-like in the end game.
Orcs, however, changed their designs frequently. And that's why we find their concept art the most. Fun fact that the texture of the skeleton's head was preserved until the game was released. It is in a reduced form, present on the texture of the staff of the orc shaman. The scavenger looks completely different. It was created according to an earlier concept.
And this has a very, very sad look.
However, this version of the scavenger was used as a prototype for a mole rat model in the future. Shadow Beast has a familiar texture, however due to problems with the sweep, his torso uses the texture of his head, which looks pretty weird. Overall, the model is quite crude, and it is not surprising that people often confuse this model with the texture of a bear. Snapper is a lurker in the alpha version. According to the early concept, this monster had a completely different look. In the future, the Snapper will be converted into a more familiar lurker, and this model will become a prototype for the same Snapper, only from the original. The Troll also has a temporary texture, but overall, nothing special. The Crawler has a green color, and a rather unusual appearance, which is somewhat reminiscent of the Crawler from Gothic 3. The Goblin still has the old texture from Demo 2. For him, rather comical sounds were used, taken from another game in 1998. The meat bug remains the same. The monsters in this version have some interaction features that should be a feature of the game. Of the implemented mechanics, there are the following. The crawler can be distracted in order to walk past him. To do this, we take a still live meat beetle in our hands and throw it. This will distract the insectoid. Trolls often like to throw themselves like goblins, which makes it very difficult to fight them. However, it was fun. Therefore, in one of the collectible editions of Gothic, there is a figurine of a troll who throws a goblin. If you killed a goblin, you can take his corpse and throw it to the Snapper, which I recall was the lurker from the original at that time. This will help distract him. The developers often said that lurkers love to eat goblins. When you kill a zombie, it doesn't die. His head flies off, and then the zombie goes to pick it up. If he puts his head back, you will have to fight him again. You, in turn, can pick up the head and throw it away. Then the zombie will not be able to do anything to you, and you will calmly kill him. Goblins know how to somersault, which complicates the fight with them, and crawlers have poor vision, therefore they are guided by sound. These are the mechanics that were implemented in the demo version. However, not all that was planned. Among the planned mechanics are the following. Shadow Beast are very afraid of light, therefore.
And none of these made it actually to the real, not the real game, but in the later version.
They do not go out,
Sadly enough,
into the sun, and run away from the Nameless One if he uses the light spell. Scavengers can be tamed by throwing an apple at them. Orc hounds were supposed to sit on orc chains that could be torn. And some others. Continuing the mechanic theme, it's worth talking about combat and pumping. In this demo, there are no character stats. Character stats and quest windows have simply not been implemented yet. All that is displayed in the lower left corner. There is your health, mana, strength, agility and psi magic. These skills can be pumped from the Mind Master. For a new level, you are given 1 point for pumping. And you can choose where to spend it. Keep in mind that to level a specific skill, you need a training point, which is given when using this skill. For example, fighting or shooting. In Alpha, there were no plans to add runes, so you could learn a spell, learn sneaking, increase strength, dexterity, mana, health, improve a battle skill, and so on. These are
what I think is interesting, I mean, it's just a bloody alpha version, right? That everything's actually translated, but the actual dialogue is seemingly in German.
Mana, health, improve a battle skill, and so on. These are not all the mechanics associated with pumping. There are really a lot of them, and they were very different from the original. Even the seemingly habitual sneaking up had interesting functions. You can see all of them in the clipping content document that Phantom95 contributed. The link will be in the description. The mechanics of the battles were very different from the original. Instead of combos, there were directional strikes. Because of this, the battles were slower, but they were tactful. With zero leveling of weapon possession, the character could simply hit forward, left, right and put a block. It was all about timing accurate punches, and you also needed to know when to block. A little variety in fights added the possibility of rolls, as well as backflips. When pumping weapon possession, the animations changed. They were much faster, making battles easier. And also with the help of the console, you can play the animation of the strike combination. However, this cannot be repeated in the game. Also, using the same console, you can summon helmets that have a texture and are worn on the character. Crossbow, as well as a shield. By that time, shields were no longer relevant, but they remained in the game files. The shooting itself was faster, and more like shooting from Gothic 2, where the arrows could physically interact with the world. A little about minor mechanics. The game had a system for transferring items, as in version 1.01. The enemy, seeing on the ground a weapon that is superior in strength, picks it up. I would like to note that such little things had a positive effect on interaction with the world. Since there were no runes at the time of the game, as I said, spells could be learned. However, there was another way. This is to drink special elixirs, in the creation of which participated the dust from the magic ore. After you drink such an elixir, you can create spells. Also in the game files there are countless interesting weapons that were subsequently cut from the game. In the files of the game, several more interesting locations were encountered. An ancient temple, it is the prototype of the Temple of the Sleeper. One of the first locations in the game, which was the main setting in the first demo. The second location is already straight from Demo 2. It is still not fully known what it was used for. Based on the architecture, it could be a connecting element between the ancient temple and the city of the orcs. However, this is just a hypothesis. The third location is interesting in that it is a mine. It is called simply Dungeon, and at first it was not clear why it was created. However, after studying the level, it became clear that this is a free mine model. From the information pool, for which I will have a separate video, we learn that in a free mine, there should be a passage to the city of orcs, featuring concept art by Ralph. We can compare the entrance to the orc city from the arts, and from this mine. It also definitely can't be an abandoned mine. It's too big, and there isn't a hint of a crawler den. The old mine, too, according to an early idea, did not have deep tunnels. It was a large pit with several passes into the depths. You can also look at additional materials for more detailed analysis of these locations. It is worth saying a few words about multiplayer. Yes, it was still implemented. To enable it, add the net operator to the bot file of the game. When you launch such a world, we find ourselves in the main menu of the game, created for tests. Here you can create your own server. All you need is to connect to the LAN network with a friend, and enter the host IP. It should be borne in mind that the multiplayer in this version is extremely unstable, but it works. It also has strong
I couldn't even imagine playing Gothic in LAN mode.
class binding. Destruction of objects. You could damage almost any object, and with enough damage, you could break that object. In the future, this idea will be developed. Let's move on to the second demo version. It's 0.64b. Upon entering the game, we find ourselves in the main menu. It is made in the form of an animated scripted scene of the camera flying over the Zen location, at the top of which you can see the menu text itself. Many functions are not available here, but they can be enabled in scripts. Quite interesting settings that allow you to switch to the console controller management mode. However, this feature doesn't work at all. There is also a multiplayer menu where you can select a nickname, create a server, and select a class. However, the multiplayer itself has been disabled in this version. After starting a new game, you will appear behind the bridge. Based on the walkthrough file created for the press, we had to pick up the sword, kill the goblin and scavenger, and go to the camp. Unlike the previous version, Demo 5 was created primarily for the press. This version appears in some press reviews. When you press the number keys, the player switches between characters. You need this to go through the demo version, and demonstrate the capabilities of different classes. There are already more perfect textures and clearer class divisions. The monsters have changed a lot too. The goblin changed its texture, approaching in small steps what we see in the final. The game files also contain a black goblin texture that is not used in the game. The crawler texture will remain that way until almost release, but will be changed later. The skeleton also got its modern version of the texture. Lurker has become like himself, the zombies have become very creepy. This texture of the wolf will remain with him until the end of 2000. I note that in the game itself, new NPCs and new monsters have appeared. For example, the first female character who will also evolve in the future. The new monster that has been added is the Orc Hound.
This one looks very, very cute. What an amazing model.
Her concept art is quite old, but she found her embodiment only here. Interestingly, there are two versions of this dog in the textures. One with shackles, and the other without them. Perhaps this was an attempt to implement the idea described above. In this version of the game, there are also several worlds. Let's start with the Psi Camp. A separate Zen world, represented by a sect camp mesh, with some objects. A rather crude version, but there are also many unrealized ideas here. For example, a huge tree temple, which has already become a kind of personification of the Alpha Gothic. Columns Laboratory, which was completely carved out in others. The second world is called old_world.zen. There are many differences from the world created for the press. Here we appear near the old camp. Of the global differences, this is a changed placement of some WABs. In the new camp, for some reason the island with the tavern disappeared, some changes in the rest of the world, and also, most interestingly, the Psi Camp. In this world, the Psi Camp has an older prototype than the one we've seen before. And there are really many differences. The general architecture of the camp is the first thing that catches your eye. Immediately after that, the temple is striking, which is in a completely different place. And there are more platforms. Although the swamp itself does not look like itself, even from the description. But this is a topic for a video about an info pool. It is interesting that in this world there are some mechanics that are not in the regular game. For example, here you can destroy WAB objects, move them, and there is a mention of the ability to move them. However, the mechanics themselves were already cut at the time of the game. A lot of new weapons, animations, items, and unusual mechanics have been added. In the old version of the world, there are also strange portals in the habitats of magicians. Perhaps they should somehow interact with the teleportation stones, which are in the demo version, but are not used. A lot of cool stuff is still in these demos. However,
Is this a pre-version of the tower where we found the first part of the riddle book?
a lot of cool stuff is still in these demos. However, perhaps the finer details should be covered in a separate analysis? Either way, the great potential for research and the creation of modifications was worth it. Not to mention the story we got. We really saw how this game was created, every little thing that the developers thought about.
Okay, cool.
How they thought and what they dreamed about. I recommend that you visit the Phoenix Tales archive for a long interview with Mike Hogue coming out very soon, as well as a lot of unique content that he donated to our community. The link will be in the description. Thanks a lot for watching. Despite some difficulties in creating this video, it still came out. Not without the help of these people. Unfortunately, I could not tell you about everything, but I will do a lot more content on this topic. See you.
Huge shout out. Oh god, I love the banner. What an amazing video. It feels like a completely different game. And with the Zen world and everything, how much in the development has changed is incredible. So as I said, huge shout out, wonderful video. Yep, I agree, you blew my mind with this video. So many details and things we've never seen before. Okay, give me one. I just want to check something. Does he only... Are all of them on English?
Hallo, wir sind Router.
Very interesting for me, very interesting videos. Maybe I will actually save this channel up there. So maybe for the stream, maybe for me in private, I don't know. But this... He has very, very interesting videos from the title so far. Okay, and the last one is... Okay. Michael, a shout out to you too. A, for providing these videos, and B, they're very, very interesting. So to see from the development process of Gothic. Okay, just 15 minutes. Most of them, but recently he switched to Russian or Ukrainian, but the older videos are in English. Maybe that's a sign that I should learn one of these languages. Then again, huge shout out to Vanacek for providing this video. And we are gonna get into it. Gothic Development Mysteries.
Během hraní prvního Gotika jste si při prozkoumávání terénu mohli povšimnout jeskyně v Quentinově táboře banditů v horách. Tato jeskyně na první pohled vypadá jako vstup do dolu či jiného podzemního systému
I remember this part.
tunelu. Po
We were there too.
krátkém nahlédnutí však zjistíte, že jeskyně je vlastně slepá. O co tu teda jde? Nuže, vrátíme se na začátek roku 1999.
Condemned to a life of slavery in the ore mines of the kingdom, the main objective is survival. A magic barrier makes escape for any kind of being impossible.
Gothic je necelé 2 roky před vydáním. Mike Hawk společně s Ralphem Marčincikem před pár měsíci dokončili koncept art pro svět Gotika. A Sasha Hendricks s Marianem Ruskem právě finalizují 3D model kolonie, aby jej mohli představit na blížící se E3. Gothic byl ambiciózní projekt od studia Piranha Bytes Software, jenž měl obsahovat multiplayer až pro 5 hráčů, realistickou fyziku a velice pokročilou umělou inteligenci, díky níž by hráč nikdy nebyl v bezpečí. Svět Gotika, kolonie.
This would be Czech. Okay. It would be nice if there would be one universal language.
Měl mít podobu rozsáhlého
But at least we have subtitles.
otevřeného terénu, kde by nebezpečná monstra terorizovala kopáče a jiné obyvatele snažící se přežít. A i přesto, že tento nápad velice dobře vystihuje finální verzi světa, v této fázi vývoje vypadala kolonie velice odlišně od toho, co moc dobře dnes známe. Terén byl daleko větší, ale byl velice plochý. Lokace, jako třeba Starý klášter nebo Skřetí město, ještě neexistovaly. A ostatní lokace, jako Starý tábor, Starý důl nebo Tábor v bažinách, měly jinou podobu. Například Starý důl byl oproti pozdějším verzím Tábor v bažinách.
What this actually is supposed to be the whatever this is here. The red thing looked like an eye.
Měli jinou podobu. Například Starý důl byl oproti pozdějším verzím umístěn na jihu mapy a místo podzemních šachet to byla velká díra v zemi. Starý tábor měl na jedné straně arénu, ve které by mohl hráč soupeřit proti ostatním hráčům. Nový tábor byl umístěn na jezeře, po kterém pluly lodě dovážející rudu z blízkého dolu. Toto se velice rychle mění, jelikož již o měsíc později můžete vidět verzi starého a nového tábora, které dobře známe. Tato verze se od finální verze odlišuje snad jenom několika drobnými změnami, jako třeba chatrč vedle brány hradu, kterou později nahradilo pódium pro koncert kapely In Extreme. I přes tyto změny však zůstává kolonie velice odlišná od pozdějších verzí. To, že je skoro prázdná, však autorům velice rychle došlo. A proto už v září 1999 kompletně předělávají svět do známější podoby.
That's a symbol of the Brotherhood. In some other version it was in the other videos too. I see, but but they did not say, did they say anything about the... In the video, did they say something about the Brotherhood? No. Ah, okay, I see. Okay, I just look. So did I sometimes need to... I see, Old Camp, New Camp, or Brotherhood and Y. Alright. Sometimes I need to help out my memories. Oh my goodness. Sorry, a little detour. I'm not into memes. but I do like this one. Inventory space in the Gothic series. Oh god, this one's actually quite funny. Okay, back to the video. I'm sorry. It's some time, but we did watch a video. Alright.
Zůstane jenom model starého a nového tábora a citadely. Vše, včetně tábora v bažinách, starého dolu či průsmyku v horách, získává novou podobu. Svět se postupně začíná naplňovat vegetací a postavami. Přestože na první pohled působí svět velice známě, má však veliké odlišnosti. Třeba už jenom to, že skřetí hřbitov a horská pevnost na jihu mapy zatím neexistují. Místo skřetího chrámu se v bažinném táboře nacházel obrovský strom, ve kterém přebývali guru. Velký les na východě mapy taktéž neexistuje a místo něj se nachází menší les na západě kolonie, poblíž skřetího města. A právě na skřetí město se teď zaměříme. Screenshot z roku 1999 nám ukazuje, jak skřetí město tehdy vypadalo. To, že se jedná o skřetí město, si můžeme ověřit porovnáním terénu s...
So here I need to sometimes pause in order to understand the subtitle plus see what happens in the video.
Skřetí město si můžeme ověřit porovnáním terénu s finální verzí. Tato verze povrchové části skřetího města se velice podobá právě Quentinově táboře banditů. O co to tedy jde? Vše se vysvětluje jen o několik měsíců později. To ale již po začátku nového milénia, v roce 2000. Autoři znovu nebyli spokojení s podobou svého díla a tak se rozhodli, že některé lokace s podobou svého díla a tak se rozhodli, ale již po začátku nového milénia, v roce 2000. Autoři znovu nebyli spokojení s podobou svého díla a tak se rozhodli, že některé lokace kompletně překopají. Přidávají do hry skřetí hřbitov. Předělávají místo výměny. Na východu mapy zasazují les. Přidávají zatopenou věž a kromě několika změněných cest ještě předělávají skřetí město. To se nyní nachází skoro celé podzemí. Starý model by však byla škoda vyhodit. A tak se autoři rozhodli jej použít na vytvoření nové lokace v horách na severní části mapy, z čehož vznikl Quentinův tábor. K čemu tedy slouží tato jeskyně? Dříve se jednalo o vstup do podzemní části mapy. Kolonie tehdy měla obsahovat rozlehlou a komplikovanou síť skřetích jeskyní, kterou skřeti ručně vykopali.
So thank you, Michael, that you, by the way, when I streamed Gothic 1, that you actually gave me small informations like with the camp here.
Vývoj Gotika však zanechal na kolonii spoustu dalších jizev. Jedna z nich je třeba tento kámen poblíž opuštěného dolu. Terén zde vypadá poněkud netradičně a skoro dělá dojem, že zde něco mělo být. Vrátíme se tedy zpět do minulosti. V Anglii se právě odehrává veletrh ECTS 2000 a účastní se jej spousta studií se svými hrami, jako je například Warcraft 3, Mafia nebo právě Gothic. Piraně zrovna předělali model světa a pomalu jej uvádějí v život. Hra už obsahuje velký sortiment mečů, seker, ale i kouzel, které má hráč k dispozici. Kolonie má ale stále nedostatky a autoři s ní stále nejsou spokojeni. Autorům se například nelíbilo, kudy vede cesta z hor od místa výměny.
I'm sorry, I need to go back a second.
Kudy vede cesta z hor od místa výměny. Ta totiž dříve vedla na druhé straně skalního masivu a nebyla ničím zajímavá. Ta totiž dříve vedla na druhé straně skalního masivu a nebyla ničím zajímavá. Proto ji tedy znovu předělávají a vedou ji po útesu. Tam, kde ale dříve vedla cesta, zůstala masivní díra a tak se ji pokouší rychle zadělat, ovšem z následky, které po bližším prozkoumání jdou vidět. Terén v této oblasti vypadá celkem odfláknutě a ani balvan, zasazený na místě původní cesty, tomu nepomáhá. Autoři tuto cestu tak rychle odebrali, že pod povrchem terénu ještě zůstává keř na místě, kudy dříve vedla.
This is the one you showed me too, right?
Dalším místem, se kterým nebyli autoři spokojení, byl starý klášter. Ten v této fázi vývoje vypadal úplně jinak. Byl daleko menší a nevypadal moc jako klášter. A také ji piraně znovu předělali, tentokrát do finální podoby. Po původním klášteru zůstal jenom jeden free point pod povrchem mapy, který indikuje, v jaké výšce se dříve terén nacházel. Cestu zde vedoucí lze spatřit na jednom ze screenshotů vydaných během veletrhu ECTS 2000. Kolonie byla ale stále moc prázdná a tak přichází na řadu její jižní část. Možná jste si někdy povšimli stromů ve skále poblíž horské pevnosti. Dříve, když horská pevnost ještě neexistovala, se zde nacházel rovný terén. Piraně toto celé místo skoro kompletně předělali a přidali horskou pevnost, avšak zapomněli odebrat těchto několik stromů. Skřetí město bylo znovu předěláno. Piraně se rozhodli podzemní část města zmenšit a sloučit ji s terénem. Dříve se totiž podzemní část města nacházela v jiném světě, do kterého by se hráč dostal pomocí načítací obrazovky. Ten ve hře zůstal v souboru s názvem Orc City 3DS. Skládá se z komplikované sítě tunelů a velkých komnat. Některé z nich byly použity pro novou verzi města. Jedním z pozůstatků místa, kde byl původně vstup do skřetího města, je nevyužitý Change Level Trigger, nacházející se ve skále. I když hratelná verze podzemního skřetího města byla ze hry odebrána, piraně zapomněli odebrat tento trigger. A tedy, když do něj vejdete, započne načítání, po kterém se objevíte ve tmě. Z této doby se však zachoval model světa ve formě test levelu AI testlevel.zen z poloviny roku 2000. Ten, kromě testovacích místností, obsahuje část kolonie, která už se až na pár chybějících jeskyň, les na západní straně mapy a skřetí město velice podobá finální verzi mapy. Po sloučení této verze mapy s terénem finální verze dostaneme autentickou ukázku toho, jak to zde tehdy vypadalo. Nejzajímavější ale je, že právě trigger na vstupu do skřetího města se nachází přesně tam, kde má být. Piraně však nebyli spokojené se západní částí mapy. V této chvíli se zde nacházel les, jak jde právě vidět v test levelu, a Kavalornova chatrč ještě neexistoval. To se ale zanedlouho změnilo. Les byl přesunut na východ mapy a sloučen se zbytkem velkého lesa. Byla přidaná skřetí a sloučen se zbytkem velkého lesa. To se ale zanedlouho změnilo. Les byl přesunut na východ mapy a sloučen se zbytkem velkého lesa. Byla přidaná skřetí aréna a svět získal pár jeskyní. Autoři už asi byli unavení a tak se pro terén u Kavalornovy chatrče rozhodli použít část již existujícího terénu poblíž k Sardasovy věže. Podobnou věc lze spatřit u starého kláštera, kde autoři použili část terénu od Svobodného dolu. Část již existujícího terénu poblíž k Sardasovy věže. Podobnou věc lze spatřit u starého kláštera, kde autoři použili část terénu od Svobodného dolu. Po této radikální změně terénu zůstaly jenom dva nesmyslné waypointy, které ukazují, kudy původně vedla cesta. To ale nebylo všechno. Obrovský strom uprostřed bažinného tábora se autorům nelíbil a tak jej autoři nahradili skřetím chrámem, ve kterém ve finální hře přebývá Iberion. Piraně již byli s kolonií celkem spokojení, avšak svět stále nebyl hotový. Blíží se Vánoce 2000 a po spoustě nevydařených termínech se hlavní část programátorů rozhodla, že už toho mají dost. V meetingu oznámili Mikeu Hogovi, že chtějí práci na projektu ukončit, jelikož to nikam nevede. Mike je naštěstí donutil k tomu, aby projekt dokončili. Tým byl však už vyčerpaný a nedočkavá komunita společně s krachujícím vydavatelem to už měli také plné zuby. Piraně tedy museli hru co nejdříve vydat a vše, co bylo nedokončeno, muselo ven. Vývoj multiplayeru byl ukončen, realistická fyzika byla zahozena a části světa se museli odstranit. Jednou z těchto částí je průsmyk poblíž staré...
Okay, there was a reason why I always was under the impression that the things were cut because of the publisher wanting to release the game and not that the developer said it's too much work.
Dolu. Zde se původně měla nacházet další cesta pryč z kolonie a ve finální hře zde zůstala jenom mezera v horském pásu. Další byl opuštěný důl. Ten měl na počátku hry sloužit jako tutoriálový svět, avšak byl podobně jako skřetí město odebrán.
Actually, we plan to put a level here. Originally.
Oh, really?
It's like a small tutorial dungeon, yeah.
Okay.
An abandoned mine, oh my god.
Ještě několik posledních předělávek a svět byl připravený na vydání. 3 dny před Vánocemi dává tým dohromady demo verzi 1.01e Christmas Edition. která byla poslána novinářům, aby jej otestovali. Ale i přesto hra ještě není dokončena. Hlavní tým programátorů pracuje na plné otáčky a pouze pár týdnů před odevzdáním hry vydavateli v únoru 2001 implementují do hry
The publisher really pushed too, so it's kind of both. Okay.
Vizuální efekt bariéry a podporu myši. Všem už vývoj tak leze na mozek, že pomalu odpočítávají dny do dokončení. Konečně. 21. února se na stránce magazínu PC Games objeví článek s názvem Gothic je hotov. Necelý měsíc poté, 15. března, vychází v Německu Gothic verze 1.06L.
Fast 3 Jahre Entwicklungszeit investierte das in Bochum ansässige Team von Piranha Bytes in das ehrgeizige Rollenspielprojekt Gothic.
Avšak nátlak na tým v posledních měsících vývoje se silně projevil na příběhu a postavách hry. Příběh hry byl zkrácen a rozdělen na 6 kapitol. A spousta věcí, jako třeba konvoj mezi Starým táborem a Starým dolem, zavírání bran táborů v noci, pocestní bandité a lapkové, kteří obtěžují hráče při setkání, zůstaly nedokončené ve skriptech hry.
Hey boy, if you wanna pass, you have to pay 10 or you'll be whacked. Got it?
Právě některé tyto nedokončenosti zůstaly ve hře jako záhady, nad kterými komunita dlouhá léta bádala. Ale i přesto byl Gothic vychvalován hráči a pár měsíců po vydání vyšel patch 1.07c a 1.08h, které opravily některé nedostatky. Gothic se také dočkal mezinárodního vydání, včetně toho českého. Následně se tým rozdělil na 2 části. Jedna pracovala na sci-fi střílečce, zatímco druhá začala tvořit datadisk ke Gothicu, který by zrealizoval nevyužité nápady původní hry. O tom, ale zase někdy jindy. Dík moc za pozornost a pokud se vám tohle video líbilo, nezapomeňte ho olajkovat. Jo, a tady tenhle hlas, který slyšíte, patří Erkovi, takže sám se pozdravuju.
A really interesting video, especially for me. Information with the developer team wanting to stop the development. Yep, probably not the last 2 minutes, but I'm currently enjoying the music more than the screenshots, to be utterly honest. Okay, Michael, first of all, thank you for suggesting the videos. Thank you very much. I'm actually quite impressed how much time and effort these guys put into their videos. It's absolutely amazing. And what things they actually have, well, maybe not discovered, but found out. That is quite amazing. So thank you for the suggestions. Very cool. Still, I have to say, with the multiplayer and everything, it might have. I'm happy how the game came out and how the game was when it was released, but and I don't mean it would be better, but it feels like it would have been a completely different game when, if it would have been released like that. Neither in a good way nor in a bad way. And that, with no further ado, brings us actually to Risen, where we want to find, I think, a druid, Eldric. I don't know if we have been at this location the last time, but it is not that far away. just need to go up there again. I think we haven't been there. About the multiplayer, I think it would be really interesting, because I don't know if there was some multiplayer medieval games back in then, but Symbol of Gothic is better as single player. That's the big question. I agree. I think back at that time there really were not so many medieval multiplayer games. I agree. On the other hand, I see the multiplayer. It was not a multiplayer like in. It more seemed like a co-op multiplayer, right? That you play the main story with other guys and compete in the arena. If you complete the story together, I mean, yes, it would break some mechanics, I guess. But that would have been interesting. Or that could have been interesting. But multiplayer obviously is very time consuming to implement. Onions we need. This is why I like these kinds of development videos, or how the game changed over some time. I mean, today we are taking so many things like physics for granted, because in the modern engines, if you use Unity or Unreal, they are already provided to you. In the early 2000s, in the end of 99, they needed to implement that all by themselves. That's actually quite crazy. That makes it even more impressive what Piranha Bytes developed there.
This lock is too difficult.
I haven't learned the lockpicking upgrade. We need to find a guy who can teach this stuff, not the other S word, to us. What is interesting is what we have seen with the fight with the ghouls, that I think the blade protection is really quite amazing. Okay, this is the way we need to take. Alright, you little bugger. And the good thing is, we haven't been down here, right? It's obviously not certain. We've already tried to locate the, not locate, but to go to the, to Eldric, the druid. What is up there? Except a mob? Okay. This was actually maybe a little waste of time, but at least we've seen a wonderful tree. Received a little bit of meat and some XP. And we are gonna pick a conversation, maybe. Are you tamed? Rufo? It seems so.
Hey, you there. Touch anything and I'll set Rufo on you. He needs a good meal.
Rufo? Is that your husband?
My wolf. Look, this place is ours. There's nothing here you want or can take.
You have a wolf?
Henrik trained him. Natural hunter. Once he picks up a scent, nothing can distract him.
What are you doing out here, all alone in the middle of the wilderness?
I'm not alone. I've got Henrik and Rufo. We live here.
Hello, Miki. I hope you're good, my friend.
You're a hunter? Can you teach me about hunting?
Henrik's the teacher. Go and ask him. He taught me everything I know about hunting. But I can sell you a couple of useful things.
Do you have anything to sell?
Let's see. Meat, a ring, sneak +1. I don't want to have that. And it would be even too expensive.
There you are again. Can you teach me about hunting?
Lockpicking would have been great.
What do you want? Kindly find your own bed.
Okay, sorry.
Don't touch anything, right?
Fun fact, 2 persons living here and they have a single bed.
Oi, what's your game?
They will never notice. And I tried to pick up one of them flowers there, to be honest. Okay. We'll try it out. Yes, been climbing a big mountain with my girlfriend, and on top of it was a blue lake with forest background, super chill overall. What about you? Oh my goodness, how big was the mountain? That sounds utterly amazing, especially with the view. I've been alright, let me put it like that. I don't know if you precisely call it in English hiking, but doing outside stuff like that is a very great thing to do. I know we have already taken down one of these big dudes there. Why did I not block? We have a shield, man. Things go bad also like here close to Corona and you are in Kurzarbeit. My goodness, what is Kurzarbeit in English? And next year they ask for Impfung, otherwise we will get fired. Oh man. On the other hand, vaccination is a important topic to at one point actually get rid of the pandemic. But I understand the situation you're in. This bloody virus, right? How it changed the world. However, it drops a mana plant? Well, anyways. Alright, what else do we have? Something I can consume? Yes, maximum life energy. We found a lot of druid... whatever it's called. It's very... I want druid cause vaccination causes blood clots. Well, I actually don't wanna go. Hello, Matthew. Nice that you joined, my friend. Normally, I would say there is. I don't want to have vaccination discussions here, actually, but in the other hand, isn't this is a very, very small chance in the 1 dot range, and isn't the chance higher to get COVID and get actually long COVID, where you have afterwards bad things? I don't know. But as I said, vaccination discussions actually not the right spot here. And I don't want to judge you. I would never judge someone who says who is not doing it. Do you plan to play Risen 2 and 3? Yep, but probably not directly after Risen. I have a small list with games on it, but I'm not certain if I will play Risen 2 directly after Risen 1. Maybe a small in-between game might be something good. That's so far the plan.
What are you doing here? I was hoping Eldric would finally turn up.
Where is the druid?
If I knew, he'd be here with me. It seems there was a fight here.
Any sign as to where Eldric might have gone?
Good guy,
No,
Matthew. Goodbye,
but
Matthew.
maybe
Thank
we
you
can
for
find
saying
a
hello.
clue in his hut. Well then, get along, get looking.
Let's trade.
Plus strength, maximum mana. That's all not bad. Oh, maximum life energy. Okay, we can get runes from him. That is maybe a good thing to keep in mind. Play a Gothic 1 or 2 mod. Yep, that's something Michael proposed too. That's actually something to think about. Is thank you. And thank you for your gold, mate, Cyrus.
I'll have to pick this, or find the key. I'll have to pick this,
then
or
pick
find
it.
the key. I found a torn sleeve in the hut.
Must be Eldric's. Whatever happened, he resisted.
We'll only know what happened when we find him. We have to search for Eldric.
We? This is your task. I'll remain here in case he returns.
Well, we need him, so I'll find him.
Druids, hermits wandering off. Sheer stupidity.
There's a girl, Jasmine, who lives near here. She may have seen the druid.
Well, ask her. May have is no use. Discover. Discover.
I don't like Cyrus. Before we go to the hunter girl, woman, she's gonna take a quick look around.
Better start again. Job well done.
And I should save. That didn't sound good. Without even being hit. Okay, a lump of iron ore, the 70 gold are good. very, very weird noises around. Don't like them. Okay. Back to the hunter lady then. But maybe do I do a detour? The question, the answers now. Before I forget, healing rod for production of healing potions, obviously important.
There's a druid lives round here. Have you seen him?
What druid?
His name's Eldric.
You must mean that crazy old man with the hut, further up. Haven't seen him in a while, but that's not unusual. He's not really the social type.
I really need to find Eldric.
Isn't he at his hut?
No, it seems to have been abandoned.
Then I've no idea where the crazy old loon can be. But if it really is urgent, then maybe my wolf Rufo can help you.
How could your wolf help me?
He has the best nose on the whole island. He can pick up Eldric's trail and lead you to him, if you have anything with the old man's scent on it.
How much do you want for your wolf?
Oh, I'd never sell him, but I might loan him out.
Okay, so how much to hire him?
Well, I've got a bunch of skins I need to sell, but I can't get into the town. If you bought them off me for, say, 200 gold, then I might be persuaded. You'll not come off badly on the deal either. Fair's fair.
I'll buy your skins.
Great. Here you go.
What about the wolf?
Sure. I'll let you borrow Rufo, but don't let anything happen to him.
I'll be careful.
You'd better. He's not just an animal, he's family. But you'll still need to get Rufo to trust you, so make friends with him. Give him something to eat. That usually does the trick. I can sell you some raw meat. That's his favorite.
Nah, not needed.
Hey boy, here, I've got something for you. Yes, you're a good boy.
He seems to like you.
What do I do now?
If you want to find Eldric, you'll need something that belongs to him so Rufo can pick up the scent. If you can get hold of a piece of the druid's clothing, hold it under Rufo's nose. Let him take in the scent, then follow him.
Sorry.
Rufo, seek.
Okay, that's a good one. Hopefully he's not gonna die in some battle we are definitely gonna head into. Good that we already cleared out everything around the near vicinity.
Of course, the druid's hut. Come on, Rufo. Search. Yeah, good wolf. Strange place you've brought me. Feels like walking through someone's grave. Keep searching, Rufo.
I guess that was a yes. I'll do it gladly.
Well done. Did you find something, Rufo?
His staff. Blunt weapon damage 42. Going to bed.
Keep going, Rufo. Good boy.
We might have to go back to the other spot we've been before this one. Maybe we need to pick up something there too, which I before obviously have overseen. That is quite possible. That meant we go on. Temple.
Come on, keep going.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, good wolf. Come on, keep looking. You can find him. What's wrong? Don't you want to keep going? Is Eldric in there?
2 bucks, RES.
Then I'll have to go on alone. Good wolf. You can go home now.
Thank you, boy. So let's hope we are actually going to be able to open logs. Damn it, that's the wrong one. I can try it out. That's not gonna be working out, I guess. Since it obviously ain't no door.
A magic barrier. Maybe Master Cyrus can help.
Okay, that's a good thing too, except that we need to go back all the way by foot. But at least we can take down a couple of goblins on the way. He's then hopefully gonna provide us with something to deal with the magical barrier. Oh, leave the boy alone, please. Nasty nose. And there we have another tool bag, nice. Still, it seems like it's gonna take a while until we will have all 15 of them. Since the drop rate seems to be very, very low. take down too. Why? Because of the meat. Oh. And it is even a shortcut. Look how many enemies we've taken down before the wolf even goes the normal way. And in the hut, before we talk to Risen, I'm gonna skip the band weather. What do you think about, what do you feel about Risen so far? I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I'm just trying to think about what else I can say. It is very, very nicely crafted. Although it is obviously very, very similar to Gothic, which is nothing bad, which is something really, really good, but I like it. Enjoyable game. This is the thing, I'm oftentimes very, very bad in saying what I don't like about games. But directly, if I think about it, there's nothing currently which really annoys me hard about this game. I just in my mind compare it to Gothic, but I think to say what I like more, but I think I cannot say that by now.
I found a magical barrier.
Show me. I'd like a closer look at that.
Hey, come with me.
Absolutely.
Except maybe for a small criticism that we need to go there with the wolf, then go back and then go again there with Cyrus. But anyways, then something completely different. Do you remember the old mine? Yep, I do. So let's see if you can open up that magical area.
Can you help me open this barrier?
Perhaps I can. Let me see.
I guess not.
It's certainly a magic barrier.
Can you open it?
You can do that yourself. There's a spell for it. I brought a couple of scrolls.
Oh goodness, I just thought that he would say yes. You can buy it from me for 1,000 gold because you are gonna be too lazy to go back to town.
Got work to do!
What's wrong? Especially in a moment where I just remembered I did not save. Lizard Man reminds me of another game. Oh boy, this is gonna be a labyrinth. Why do you block that heavily?
Better you than me.
Man, put it back. I just want to 8 gold for all that trouble. Lizard sword. This sword is crude and not made for humans, but... Oh, the map of the lizard prison. And would have cheered if that would have been a bat, which we could use. I said the old mine wouldn't be as charismatic, dark, and interesting place if it wouldn't be the loading screen. I don't understand. Okay, and the lizard prison is quite big. Just saying. Did I save? What has the loading screen to do with the atmosphere of the old mine? Telekinesis. Ah, okay, I'm stupid, sorry. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. In one of Gothic 3 streams, I said like loading screens, and as an example I used the old mine. I said that the old mine wouldn't be as charismatic, dark, and if there wouldn't be a loading screen. Okay, now I understand it, because when you entered the old mine there was a loading screen, and this made the atmosphere up to you. Okay. But why? But I sadly have to admit I don't remember it. It would... Okay, now I remember that you said it. Is this feeling because it has to do something for you with something like going really physically into an old mine, because you wouldn't be just open up the door and there you are, but you would need to make your way down? Is that your feeling? You would need to travel down?
We've got work to do! One less monster!
And... oh, 2 more.
Die, you dark
4 more. I'm totally honest, I was thinking about not taking him down, but I'm actually glad I did.
One less monster! got work to do! Stay down!
Yep, stay down. Oh boy.
That wasn't it. Damn. Better start again. There.
Cannot be used. Too bad.
Look out! Here we come! Stay down!
Obviously they are doing a ton load of damage. But that's a lizard man too. Two more there. I think I have this feeling. Maximum energy, nice. Because the loading screen won't allow you to walk into the mine all the way, so there's some mysteriousness about it. Like some small part of the way that you didn't see, and it adds to being dark. Okay. I cannot 100% relate, but I understand what you are saying.
Look out! Here we come! Here we go! Good shot! Look out! Here we come!
Okay, there was... well... I wonder why there was a door. Oh, not a door, but some mechanic to open up the door. Quite interesting. There was another dude here, right? No. That's too bad. I came from here. Okay, I'll try to be more relatable. For example, this dungeon where you are right now. Do you remember the entrance? Do you remember the entrance to it? Yeah, I do, yes. The door with the magic barrier in a mountain. At least that is what I remember.
We've got work to do!
Is this a special that man on the left? I think so. Yes, it's a watchman. Nasty boy. Don't fall down! I was not able to loot him. So replay the game in your head and then try to matching the loading screen. I don't think the one the loading screen would definitely have darker atmosphere. The thing is, maybe probably that's just how different brains work. Do you know, I remember the first thing when I entered the old mine, I was thinking about why is there a loading screen, and then I was actually thinking about technical things that how games are being developed. These are actually things which are going through my head when I'm not a game developer, I'm just a web developer, but these are technical things, I'm really thinking about when stuff like this comes up. I wonder about the reasons. And for Gothic 1 it was probably that the world was too big, that they couldn't include it there without a loading animation to load everything. So that's maybe the reason why that doesn't bring me to the atmospheric thing. But I actually let me think for a moment. Let me think, Michael. I'm imagining going into the entrance again, right? Okay, maybe I'm gonna replay it after. I'm gonna go through it after the stream with and imagining the loading screen, but I think it won't bring me to a more atmospheric feeling.
You're no lizard. You have smooth skin. What is a human doing here?
What are you doing here?
The lizard men caught me. I, Drock, fought, but there were too many. Saurians. They smell as bad as they look.
You're free now.
Then my honor owes you much.
I'm looking for the druid.
Druid?
A human. A man. Probably a wizard.
Ah. You want Eldric?
Yep.
Where is Eldric?
The Saurians took Eldric away. I have not seen him since then.
Do you know where they took him?
I have been trapped here, but once they took me through the wall. Maybe that is where they took Eldric.
Which wall did you go through?
A wall in the passage behind a big room. Pull a ring and the wall opens.
What was behind the wall?
They used magic. Tried to hurt me. Drock, but I am stronger than pain.
A ring in the wall or at the wall. Thing is, the solution might be for going over here would be to fly over, but I think there is nothing there. We have opened up a wall and there were rings in the walls, or we opened up the door and there were rings in the wall. Let us see. That ain't it. That ain't it too. And there's definitely something behind that door. See, I've overseen water. Okay, anyways, this is gonna bring us right now to the end. In the next stream on today's Sunday, on Wednesday, I will figure out what to do next. And Michael, what I will do after I'm maybe gonna do it what I'm gonna try, until Wednesday, I'm gonna go through, meanwhile, the old mine wouldn't have a loading screen. I would feel like a part of the world and not as a world on its own, so the atmosphere would feel less darker. Because it would be part of the world, because the outer world isn't as dark as the dungeon, so it would take some old Max dark atmosphere. Okay, I consider that. Until Wednesday, if you are in the stream on Wednesday, I will test it out. I will use this dungeon entry and close my eye for a couple of seconds for a loading screen and enter it, and try to have a clear mind to see if that changes the atmosphere for me. I give it a try. And if you're meanwhile, the old mine wouldn't have the loading screen if it would feel like a part of the world and not as a world on its own, so the atmosphere would feel darker. Let me I do so. So that I don't need to search them out. I've copied. And now I need a text document. I've copied your chat messages, Michael. I will, until Wednesday, I will give it another run, the entryway, and try to imagine a loading screen and see if it changes for me. Okay? That's a deal, isn't it? And if you are in stream on Wednesday, I will tell you if something has changed. But I do understand your argument with it being not in the actual world, and that it's darker. Because of that, let me give it a try. Okay? And until Wednesday, I will have at least watched another hour of the interview. Maybe we got some things there too. Michael, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for the video suggestions. Thank you for so much input. It is always a pleasure. For the other two guys who tuned in, thank you for tuning in, and everyone who sees this afterwards, thank you for watching. Hopefully you're all fine, and hopefully we are seeing us on Wednesday. Good night, and may the sleeper protect you too.